So I was recording video. I was not recording audio because I had to change my mic thing. So it's fine. Hamlet Rain Ice Age. No, no, please. No, the dark rain. I do like Ice Age though. No, so I made a decision about a year and a half ago that I wanted to run for Monarch. Fallen Empires. The cheapest rain ever. See, Mirrodin would be sick. I made a decision about a year and a half ago that I want to run for Monarch, and shortly after, I decided I want to be Magic the Gathering themed rain. And there's so many options you could do. You could do War of the Spark. You could do Brothers War. You could do like Onslaught-ish area. You could do. There's been a lot of large arcs. You could do like the Eldrazi stuff. You could just do like a generic we are Planeswalker Magic rain. But this story is really cool, and Urza is my favorite character, so it's a little selfish, but I want to play Urza because he's a very cool character. He's a bastard, but he's a cool character. On Eldraine. I mean, Eldraine would be good. Be the most fantasy we've had in a long time. Will there be a game that involves your mind, tower, and power plant? I hope so. I hope we get like a Tron themed battle game. And don't forget Urza's Hot Tub, the most powerful Urza artifact. I don't think it's a land. It's an artifact, yeah. Goodbye. What people need to do for the class bonuses. So for the class bonuses, the current idea, and this could change, all this stuff could change. It's 2025. Who knows? But the idea is that they would have to be displaying the mana symbol next to, which I'll have to change because this should be blue, next to the class, right? So like for Assassin to be a Sanguine Vampire, you have to have you as blue in Magic, just so you know. So you have to have blue and black. This should be blue, a U, but whatever. So you need to be displaying those on your garb, probably like a belt favor or something. Just in a way that's you're not confusing for another one. Which again, if you're playing the class, it's only one per class. That's not a big deal. And again, these effects are not final because I think it's really funny, the Barbarian one and the Paladin one, to like modify actual game things like that. Like your Javelin is Lightning Bolt and your Rock is a Ice Ball. But it might be a little pushed, so. And also just giving Warrior Flame Blade. It's kind of funny. Would you say your rain is very battle game and lore heavy from Ahi? I think so. A thing I want to do is make sure that if you don't know the lore and the story, that you don't feel alienated. I know it definitely can be, especially if you're not into Magic or into this or know this era of Magic's lore. So I try to explain it in very broad and simple terms what the story actually is. So yes, I'd say it's very battle game and very lore heavy. As far as like additional ANS things, that's going to be up to the regent, whoever that ends up being. I don't have much planned for that. I've been working more with the champion. So I did have an idea of doing like a, like design a Magic card contest type thing where it's like posting a card, be like, all right, this month, redesign this card or whatever. Are you handing out boost packs with awards? Man, if I could afford a bunch of proxies and just hand them out, I definitely would. I do want to have something where it's like a surprise, kind of like how I was like did the scratch off awards. But we'll have to see about that. But I really do like the idea of at least, what could it be? And you crack open a pack and you get your whatever third rose or something. The only issue is that we ran into with Zykes, or it's probably different for me because I was at almost every visit, so I saw those awards, the scratch off awards we given out. Man, those scratch off awards took so long. It took so long to scratch them off. Do I have previous experience in monarch positions, Park or Kingdom level? Yep. So I was Monarch of Dark Shores for like 5 years, and then it exploded. No one knows what happened. It just exploded one day. And then I'm currently the champion of Polaris. If you didn't know, I really hope you knew that. And then before that, I was Senator of Polaris for 2 years. So 2 1 year reigns. Yeah, I have experience in Monarchy, and I've worked with Monarchy and been adjacent to the Monarch quite a few times. Best Senator NA. How long have I been in Amcard again? A couple years. Like 2 or 3. So I started playing in 2003. I said at the beginning, but I started playing in 2003 when I was 6 years old. So you were 3. Yeah, I know. You're like 12. And then so we played, my whole family played, and we played until about 07 or 08. I can't remember which. And then we stopped playing. And then my dad and I came back in 2011. So I started playing, 21 years ago or 22 years ago, but have not been playing the whole time. I have been playing the last 14 years or 13, 14 years consecutively. Are you trying to get me to repeat the things that may not have been recorded? Are there any big culture changes you're looking forward to being a part of that you're willing to talk about? Specifically, I can't really think of. I mean, we talked about a word culture earlier. So I think the thing that a lot of people talked about of trying to instill the importance and the gravity of masterhood, and not just looking at it as being a stepping stone to knighthood. By I think slowing down knighthoods and making knighthoods more important and bigger. I think that makes masterhood seem also more important. Because the question I got before that may not have been recorded, I'll have to edit this probably. I had a question that was, would you not drop the sword / knight someone that passed vote during another reign? And I said, yeah, I would definitely. I mean, yeah, that's going to happen because we have so many people waiting, or so many people in the pool that I can't knight 9 people in a reign. I think 1 and maybe 2 per large event is enough, or is the sweet spot. I think once we get to being like, okay, we're knighting 2 people on Friday and then 3 people on Saturday, like that's. I know if I were being knighted in those circumstances, I would be a little miffed because it is very important and the ceremony is very important. So a big cultural change I am excited to be part of is trying to put more reverence around masterhood and instilling in people that it is okay to be a master. It is great to be a master. You don't have to always be like, okay, I'm a master. Now knighthood is the real goal, I think if you are a master and you are doing knightly things, knighthood will come regardless. All that changes, you get to go to some meetings sometimes. The thing I mentioned before is that the knighthood, the people who pass vote, it's not a queue. So in my opinion, it's not whoever got voted in, whoever passed their vote longest to go gets in first. I think it's a pool, and it's up to the monarch's discretion to then pick from that pool a knight who they believe should be a knight at that point. I think that's where a check and a balance of the circle of knights is the monarch. With the craziness in the world going on, I don't know what you're talking about. Are you planning on leveraging more communication via Discord or keeping a good mix of in both Facebook and Discord? Yeah, I think that's a really important thing to work towards. Is I still think no matter what, Facebook will be the primary space for Amtgard as a whole and Polaris. I do want it to be that if you don't have Facebook, you can still go to events and know what's going on. You're probably going to miss all the small posts. That just is what it is. But as far as the events go, utilizing things like Google Calendar or even Discord should be enough. I don't think we'll totally divest from Facebook because most people are still there. And I don't think going to like Blue Sky is a thing or whatever. So I do want to work towards having more information, either like Google Calendar, even the Midwest LARP site that I know the guy who made that. So that's cool. Have an in with him. Just so that if you don't have Facebook or don't want to be on Facebook, then you can still get by and know what's going on. Now that you'll be Monarch, don't jinx it. You get to pick bids. What will you look for when picking from multiple bids for events like MAME and GSC, which are arguably our foundation for attendance? I think looking at the strength of the team is the biggest thing. It's a hard balance of you want new people to get the chance in these roles, but you also do need experience to help guide them. I think the writing of the bid itself is pretty important. I think if someone does not put a lot of time in the actual bid, the actual document, that is pretty indicative of the effort they're going to put in when the actual event happens. I honestly don't care that much about the budget. I don't care much about like, we're going to have this really cool battle game. Like, yeah, every event's going to have cool battle games, right? Don't look at my bids. Yeah, your restaurant napkin bids. I don't think it's a 1-to-1. I don't think it's a 1-to-1. If your bid is like sloppy, the event's going to suck. Some builders don't have those organization skills or those communication skills. I just think it can be indicative of the effort that would get put in. Would you approve of someone developing learner weapons for Amtgard that are coreless for the younger generation of players? Not officially. I think if that's the thing you want to do, awesome. But not like an official thing. I'm going to be like, yes, everyone should do this, because yes, it's safer for them, but we don't really cater to that age group very much just because it's not what it is. So like that's I think parks want to do. Awesome. I'm not going to like ban them. It's probably safer for kids because people who have kids, they come to park, and the kids end up fighting. And it's probably safer to have coreless weapons or especially safe weapons. So like I'd be for it, but not like a thing I'm going to push. I just have too many things to try to push. What are your future plans or ideas, if any, with Midwest LARP? What would you like to do if you had more resources? So this is not really like a Monarch question. Bye, Azulin. But anyway, since I'm the one that runs it, so I want to. The only resources I would need, it'd be nice to have like more people working on it. There are times where I just don't have the time to do everything on it. But I think if kind of tying back into the question about Facebook and divesting from there or spreading information out, having more information about our events on the page, which I've done on the Midwest LARP site, which I've done for events in the past, but it's being more consistent with it, and having more of the small updates to make it there. The issue is that I am not a coder, so I'm working within the confines of Squarespace, and I'm sure there are ways to do what I want to do. I just don't know how to do it. Like, it would be nice to just like embed the Facebook feed onto the Midwest LARP site. I just don't know if there's a way to do that or not. Like, I've made pages for events in the past, and the prepay goes through the Midwest LARP site, all tied together. So you are welcome. It's one of those things that with the Midwest LARP site, it's a thing that for a while I'm like, it'd be really cool if someone did this. And I kept saying that to myself for like years. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try to do this. I know some newer players might not have seen the site, but it's a website I made. Ooh. I was trying to get the calendar. Like, there's a Kingdom Google Calendar, and I was trying to get a way to embed it onto the Midwest LARP site, but Midwest LARP, Squarespace doesn't have great responsiveness between desktop and mobile. So it was not working correctly. What are my thoughts about bringing more Kingdom level tournaments to players? I'm not against it. As a whole, so we were doing that. We did have the additional tournaments we did for a couple years. We would do the Eastern tournament and the Western tournament on top of our other tournaments. The issue is that the last couple we didn't have great attendance and did not have great level of skill, so it made it really hard to award those or find out how to award them. So I'm not against them. I think if we do additional tournaments, like, I think it's great to do those at like the Friday of an event. But as far as like just making more for the sake of making more, I'm not necessarily in favor, because I've talked to a lot of our fighters, our high level fighters, and they're kind of burnt out on those tournaments. And when our high level fighters are burnt out, the average level of skill of those tournaments just goes down and down. And you have tournaments that are like the highest person's like a 6 warrior, which is not the greatest sometimes. Almost out of water. Sure. Maybe. So I mentioned earlier that that's going to be more up to the region. I've been focusing more on like the battle game side of it, but I would definitely love if we can get together and work out some themed battle game, themed arts and sciences competitions or showcases. That's not a thing that's been on my radar so far. I think it'd be awesome to do like design a card or design this character or make a proxy of someone at your park. Things like that would be really fun to me. As long as I produce food tokens, that is all I ask. Absolutely. You can be what's the really annoying food commander? I can't remember his name. He's one that exile stuff. Whenever someone like he exiles the top card of everyone's deck, and when someone plays a card from exile, he gets a food token. He is a pain. find it. Rocco. Colonel Sanders. Do I have a live action of Johnny? This is important. Hey, if you want to be just like a cat sitting in the corner, that's fine. Johnny was not around during this story, so I don't want to mess with the lore, but so the characters that are so before I answer the question real quick. So what are your goals / plans for kingdom visits? Are you wanting to do more or less in the current reign? That's something I'm still working on. I think it's going to end up being fewer because of the additional events I'm running, the regional events. Those are going to kind of replace the standard kingdom visits for some parks. Some of the smaller parks more than likely. I plan on hitting like Megmel and World's End in one swoop. I plan on hitting like CC and Wolfheim at the same time. There is a chance that instead of revisiting Jade Hill and North Haven, I just go to Gathering of Shadows. That kind of replaces their visit, but that's still a thing that I'm working on. It's probably going to be less because like is a madman and lives to travel, and that's just not feasible for me right now. For someone that license she travels a lot, he sure does. It's insane. It's like can't drive and he just gets everywhere. You can be this cat lady. She was on the Weatherlight crew. Spoiler, she dies very early on. Yeah, you were gonna read those books. I've listened to yeah, so there's a YouTube channel called like the Unofficial Magic the Gathering audiobook podcast, and I listened to Brothers War, Planeswalker, Time Streams, The Thran, Wrath and Storm, Mercadian Masks. So like 5 books so far or something. I haven't listened to one for a while though. I get kind of burnt out. Are you doing more battle game oriented regional events? Yes. So we're doing sort of like how we did the 2 regional tournaments back in the day, Eastern and Western. Instead, we were doing regional battle game events. So they're going to be large scale battle games in local areas to give our battle gamers more chances outside of, because we really only have like MAME to show off, MAME and now ABG to show off battle gaming at a kingdom level, and like GAC ish, depending on how things work at GAC. So giving more chances for battles and paragons and stuff that people haven't traveled so far sometimes. Why do you want to know how many orders of battle I have? It's such a personal question. I have nine orders battle. I have 2 paragons. Sorry, fine. Change it up, I guess. Do you notice passion battle game from me or from you? Oh. Yeah. Because it is an invasion and a war is the whole story. Yeah, it's never seen again. I'm also so in past years, the relics were like bound to whoever got them. I don't care about that. Like if you want to hey, you're traveling to Mame and I can't make it. Take my relic from me. I don't care. That's fine. As long as they get used and showed off. Yeah, or the power bow, Aki. I wanted that bow so bad. I was only mad that you got it because you already play assassin. You already play a class that gets a bow. I want to be like a bow bard. That's true. It's a good point. It's a needed shift. I think so. I think in general, battle gaming is more interesting and more engaging to the general populace than tournaments are. And to kind of use up, in a way, a kingdom level visit in regional, I think it's kind of waste because we've had these tournaments that people show up and it's just not really well attended, and I don't know. So since tournaments are on the decline for the time being, what as king would you be looking for What as a warrior? So you can still get them from Battlefield Prowess, and we'll still have the 2 kingdom level tournaments in Arraign, and also whatever parks do their thing. But if someone's like, and I'm willing to take even like recommendations for warriors, right? If someone's at like 5 and a bunch of warlords like, hey man, he should really be a 6. I'm like, all right, this guy should be a 6. Stuff like that. Because I do know that's why warriors are so tough, especially when you get to the point where you have to start getting wins. Is that it's just you only have so many chances. Yeah, that was very sad in the Power Ranger themed reign that we never got to do the Megazord thing, or like the big thing with all the relics together. You think he'll run for Monarch under this reign goes as intended? Do you mean like run for Monarch again? Yeah, I mean, there's other ideas I want to do. So I wouldn't be against it. I do also want to give opportunities to other people that might want to be Monarch in the future. So I would take that into account. I keep just muting people. Yeah, I could definitely, I could definitely see myself running again in the future. Maybe another Magic themed reign. No, it'd probably be. I have a couple ideas. I could. Luckily, Mishra and Urza don't look like each other, so it could be anyone. It would be funny to do Hamlet and Hamlin, though. Are you gonna take a nice break for yourself after this reign, right? Yes, like I don't think I plan on running for anything next reign, so it'll be at least 6 months. I might. We'll see. I was thinking about running for senator again after this reign, but we'll see. I do like the senator position. I appreciate you saying I work hard, though. Since you mentioned them, how do you judge paragons? I think a big thing to think about when you talk about paragons is you think about how they stack up to the current paragons, and then how they stack up to the other people playing the class. I don't necessarily think it's that if you are the best bard out there, you should be a paragon. That can be taken into consideration. I think it's a combination of who else is doing it better, if there is anyone, and also looking at what impact you have on the other team. So what the other team needs to do to take care of you. If they have to change their spell list or play a whole different play style or dedicate more resources to you, that definitely leads to Paragon in my mind. Because if you're just like taking out one person a life, that's not really Paragon in my mind. But if you're like taking up a whole side of the field and they're sending guy after guy at you, I think that's definitely a consideration for Paragon. What's your favorite thing? What's your favorite fun thing you're looking forward to? I think the relics. I think people are gonna have a lot of fun because they are a little busted, and I think it's really cool for even an experienced player, let alone a new player, to get this really cool like sword or whatever, and be like, "Hey, I went to the kingdom thing. I got this really cool sword, and it's kind of busted." I think that's awesome. Bring that back to the park and just mess everyone up. So the relics are big. The story I'm personally excited for, but I understand that not everyone knows or even cares about this story. So it's a little more tempered, but I think everyone can get behind the relics and just the general vibe and theme of the rain. Because again, if you don't know Magic, Magic still has all the fantasy tropes. It has knights and wizards and whatever. What are you giggling at? Turn your mic off. It's broken. Hey, if we can get like hobby horses, like the little stick horses, you can only be blocked by someone who has a hobby horse. Additionally, what do you think will be the biggest challenge for you this rain? I think traveling can be a big challenge, just because resources and time. It's hard to get everywhere and make every visit seem special. And outside of that, I think it could be a little challenging to get the parks involved and people involved. But I think once they see how much fun we're having at the kingdom level, how excited we are, I don't think that will be an issue. Hobby Horse is a sanctuary tool. I think it'd be pretty funny. So I think the biggest challenge would be just travel, I guess, because I don't love driving 5+ hours. What were the other things you were considering? Not knocking on Magic the Gathering, just curious on the other options you were considering. So this could be kind of a spoiler if I decide to run them again in the future, but I want to give wrestling. This isn't necessarily a knock on Theo, but I want to give wrestling another shot. I think you can do some really cool stuff with it. I would do things like tag team champions and stuff like that. Hardcore, defend the title anywhere, anytime. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I want to do a Western themed reign at some point, like Wild West. Somehow make guns a thing. Those are the two big ones. Those are the ones that like I actually put enough thought into. They could be materialized. There was something like, oh, it'd be kind of fun, and I just don't really think about it that much. Crossover double theme, exactly. That's the good thing with Magic is there's so many different. If you want to have like a Wild West themed stuff, you can do Thunder Junction. If you want to do like Gothic stuff, you do get Innistrad. You know, if you want to do, if you want to do SpongeBob, if you want to do My Little Pony. My whole thing of Universes Beyond is, would I prefer if people dress up as actual Magic characters? Yeah, but if people are getting involved and they want to kind of troll and dress up as like Daryl from The Walking Dead because he got a Magic card at one point, like sure, whatever. Ghostbusters themed. I will. No, I'm kidding. I haven't watched the show or anything, so I can't judge. Now, hoping that people, once they start seeing Magic the Gathering and they go explore and be like, oh, there's a plane of cute animals, Bloomborough. I want to do a cute animal thing. Or I like fantasy. I like, high fantasy. There's Eldraine exists. It can be an otter. Mm-hmm. She's a moonfolk. And she's dead. I don't know what you would consider, but she's a moon folk. She's from the moon. And her son. Oh, sure. I think I have that one. No, I don't have that one. Sure. I think they made the ears kind of weird just to like match her hair. Yeah. Okay, do you mean Segovia? You fake fan? There's no R in there. I don't know if this is asked, but do you have an easy intro resource for people who don't know Magic besides Google it? So there are videos out there that will explain the lore, but they're very long. I do want to create like a document that gives at least bullet point notes of how Magic works and what the story is, and then kind of tying into what Aki said, like if you don't like this stuff, there's Bloomborough and there's whatever kind of other options for people to get excited for. Like I said, there are the videos out there, but it's hard to be like, oh, you don't know Magic? Watch this hour-long video and they'll tell you everything about the lore. That's a little much. Different He-Man, yeah. It's just so much to parse through. My favorite plane that's not Dominaria is Zendikar. What a favorite card? I don't know if I can do one. That's so hard. What's your favorite card? You have a favorite card? Can you say it right now? What's your favorite card? Is he wrapping on? Well, now that you say it, you have a bunch of Sarah Angels. It's all blurred. Mostly the same card, but some are different. I don't have any like the expensive ones. What's that? Oh, Panharmonicon. It's up there. No, Panharmonicon, it's if an artifact or creature were to enter the battlefield, trigger an ability of a permanent you control, then you do it again. A thing that gives all your artifacts affinity is Mycosynth Golem. Head wall of a Togs. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Larry Dawnbringer. So like Defender Tribal is one of those things that like people pretend is like a joke, but Arcades is like actually kind of broken. That ends up being just a good deck. Like, oh, you guys, it's fine. It's Defender Tribal. I can't even attack. And then they play Arcades and it goes crazy. So like, yeah, Sarah Angel's up there. Consume Aberration's up there because I love Mill. It's like not a very good card. I just like it. Probably blue, unfortunately. Very unfortunately. You know what? You know what? Red. Fine. No, I'm kidding. It's probably blue. Yeah, sure do. My favorite colors go in order. Go blue, red, green, white, Black. Black's my least favorite color. I mean, whoa. What's my favorite Magic expansion? I would say my favorite expansion is probably Rise of the Eldrazi. That's up there. I also like the original Theros block quite a bit. I like the gods and how devotion worked. I like the theming was really cool. Well, that's new Theros. I'm talking about old Theros. But yeah, the constellation lands are really cool. Yeah, if someone has like actual monarchy questions, go ahead. We're kind of just talking now. It is being recorded, so. Yeah, friend. Yeah. Finally. Our friend, comrade. All right, so the story of Phyrexia. 10,000 years ago, there was a man named Yawgmoth. I'm not doing that. However, Yawgmoth, they gave him a card a few years back, and they made him like really goth, and like I know a guy that looks like this. Everyone calls him Gothmog. Yeah, I do want to create a document to kind of break down how like the Magic universe works or the multiverse works, and break down the story, the general beats, and then talk about some other planes and whatnot. That's a lot of work, so we'll see. I'm very dumb. Bye, Weez. Thanks for coming. What would your like your reign to be remembered for after it's all said and done? I think generally like the excitement and the engagement. I would really like people to be like years in the future, be like, yeah, we had this reign. It was Magic the Gathering themed reign, and I'm not really into Magic the Gathering, but I dressed as this character and it was really cool. I got this cool relic and whatever. I think that would be kind of the stuff I'd really, really happy with. If people are still, even years past, are still excited about the reign and the things that happened. I would really hate for it to be like the rain happens, like, oh, it was fine. That'd be sad. How long is this Q&A? I don't know. Until I get tired. As long as people keep asking questions. Are you having a hero shutdown dungeon? I'm planning on it. I want to get done like all my Urza stuff, so like the wig and whatnot. That's the plan. In reference to Magic Gathering, who do you main in Overwatch, and why is it Squirrel Girl? So I kind of main Squirrel Girl in Overwatch because I main Junkrat. Squirrel Girl is like the closest thing to Junkrat in Rivals. Or if it's vice versa. I think I'd probably give it like 10 more minutes if no one's really talking. Call it. He's basically just broken Junkrat. Yeah, but like I don't have like the trajectory down. I have so much muscle memory from Junkrat. Like the fact that her bombs go like almost straight instead of like dropping immediately, I just can't do it. Try to play her like Hanzo. Yeah, like bad. I can't play Hanzo. I guess more like a player like Pharah, right? Shooting like the general direction. I played her a little bit. She's fun. Her ult is very funny. And her giant, also her giant acorn is very funny. So I'll tell you again because there's new people in here and it probably didn't get recorded. But the story of the rain is based on an old story from Magic. I say old. A lot of people are gonna get mad that I call it an old story, but it's like 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. It's from the Weatherlight / Invasion, like Apocalypse time period. So like 99 to like 2001, I think is when Apocalypse was. Phyrexia is a plane in the multiverse that is really bad. And they essentially assimilate. They are these monsters of machine and flesh that assimilate all they can get their hands on, and they just want to spread and grow and get everyone under their control. And they're coming to Dominaria / Polaris. They are evil. 24 years ago, I know, right? It's curious that they hit the second plane. Jesus. Yeah, so the whole idea is that they're coming. Urza has spent thousands of years fighting them back, trying to find ways to defeat them, but now they are finally coming back to Dominaria after thousands of years. His master plan is Legacy, which was thousands of years. When Urza died, he was like 4,600 years old. He was immortal, effectively. But he created a plan called Legacy, which are a series of artifacts that he either designed and made or like found ways to incorporate together. And these all work together to create a giant, a big weapon called the Legacy weapon that, when put together, can blow up Phyrexia. Again, Phyrexia are these robot zombie things. I'll post a picture that kind of shows what a Phyrexian looks like for the most part. Because there are Phyrexians that are just essentially humans that are like sleeper agents. But like Phyrexian Obliterator to me is like what a Phyrexian looks like. Like that. Big evil flesh machine. Yawgmoth, the person I posted, is like the god. He started Phyrexia and he became like the god of Phyrexia. That was like 10,000 years ago. That was crazy. That was so long ago. The Phyrexian I know is mommy. She's not even around yet. That'd be great. Flubs cosplay. Elish Norn is new Phyrexia. It's totally different. No, but I don't care. Like, if you want to dress up as like something, I don't care. Most of the characters that you know like aren't a thing right now. The only characters that you would know that are a thing are like Teferi and like Card. That'd be funny though. Flubs. You can be loot. Oh. It's funny at small characters, but like, again, you don't have to be like this time period. It'd be really funny if we made you Tongarth, who's like a 9 foot tall Minotaur. Who's like put you on Bremen's shoulders. Tongarth's a cool character. No, Shane, she just has those. unlimited blinks at the cost of opens. If you want to just not play the game, sure. Another thing is like if someone puts a lot of effort into like cosplaying someone, I am totally fine like working with them directly and like finding out a way so they can play that character on the field without it being too busted. Like if someone dressed up as Jace puts a lot of effort into it, like we're finding a way to make you like a mind mage or something. You do have an Avacyn cosplay. I've seen it. Sure. Like if you see Aki, you die. Like something like Avacyn, right? Like giving you things like blink to mimic flight, or I guess you could also do like is flight a thing in the monster rule book? I don't even know. But like blink to mimic flying, and then like sanctuary to mimic flying, maybe things like harden to mimic her giving things indestructible. Will you have Magic Gathering tournaments at all as part of anything, or something directly related to playing the card game? Yeah, so like we talked about it earlier, but I currently don't have anything planned as far as like officially running like a draft or anything at. No, you're fine. Nothing to be sorry for. But like I can work with the people running the events, like for MAME and GAC if we want to do something. That's all going to be on like the event side though. I don't have much say in that. If they're like, nah, we don't have time for that, and you know, it is what it is. It's nice to have an additional way of people. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, Jumpstart. Everyone loves Jumpstart. No. I'm going to do 2020. If anyone pulls a Brewvac, they have to give it to me. I have bought so much freaking Jumpstart 2020 trying to get Brewvac. I should just bought. Yeah, like many. I could have bought him a couple times over. It's not the same. He got reprinted in Ravnica Remastered. So he's a little cheaper now. A year draft, huh? That'd be kind of fun. You like make like cards to represent the like abilities and weapons and stuff. Like, oh, open a pack. I have a bow. I have a short sword. I have a flame blade. Like you have different rarities and stuff too. Yeah. I think that'd be a good like park level thing. I don't think it'd work at like a kingdom level. I like that idea. It's bonk. It does no damage. If you hit someone, you get shoved. Yeah, it'd be kind of fun. Make a spell list, but you have to draw your spells from a deck. Whatever's in your hand is all you can use. Like each life, you draw like 7 cards. Oh, shoves kind of mulligan. Am I looking at any inter-kingdom travel? No, not right now. I just have so much going on as far as like in-kingdom travel. I was considering going to Spring War, but I just can't really make it work right now. Besides that, there's nothing I'm really interested in as far as inter-kingdom goes. which sucks because I think it'd be a good time to travel when I'm king, but it is what it is. Let's see what happens. Okay, goodbye. Thanks for coming. Probably don't have too much longer anyway. I'm going for about an hour and a half. Are you going to keep Session Bitch or SNB, whatever, a Kingdom event? I guess in what it's not really my decision, I guess. Because isn't that like a Pora thing of how the credits for Session Bitch work? Because my only issue with Session Bitch and the other online things is those credits counting towards MIGs. I'm not a huge fan of, but besides that, I like that there's a community and a whole different side of the game online. I just don't think that should allow people to be MIGs and run for office and things like that, but that's a separate thing. Are you going to solicit bids for East and West, run them yourselves, or outsource to parks? So the idea was to sort of do a combination of soliciting bids and running them myself. So for example, like Zyke offered to run one of them, and I might do that for the other one. But the idea is that Torgan would do most of the work for that. Me and Torgan would do most of the work for that, and then solicit things like reaving and game running stuff to the parks or people that are there. Kingdom has been awarding SNB stuff. I haven't really put too much thought into it then. I will have to get back to you because I just didn't really consider that right now. Like I said, I don't love SNB working towards MIGs. I think Amcard does happen in person for the most part, but there is an online portion to it that shouldn't be ignored. So it's a complicated decision. I think especially during the summer, there's less of an excuse not to just go to park. I totally get it in the winter where some parks don't even have indoor locations or meet very often. But in the summer, you don't really have that excuse. But again, it's something to consider and talk about. Anyone have any more questions, comments, concerns, or else I'm gonna probably end this here pretty soon. I look at my camera and I'm like, I should definitely sit up more straight. Thank you, Margaret. In that case, it is 9:30, so I'm doing this for an hour and a half. So I'm gonna call it. Unless Mesh has a thing. Appreciate you all for coming, asking questions, hanging out. Appreciate you all. Really excited to get this raid started. Do some really fun, do some really cool stuff. Even if you don't like Magic the Gathering, I think you'll have a good time. I don't know how you wouldn't like Magic the Gathering, but good night, Mesh. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop the recording.